Hi, you're listening to or watching Speaker Talks podcast for speakers, authors, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to grow a business. I'm Steve Sapato, your host, and today I'm blessed to have Andrea and it's Befus, right?
Yes.
Befus on the show with me, and Andrea is a health and confidence coach. Now, I think we could all use that. I'm pretty confident, but you know what? There's times in your life when you really still need a boost. So,
Yes,
Andrea, tell us a little bit about you, would you?
I would, of course. So I'm Andrea, and being a health and confidence coach means that I believe that women everywhere can feel confident in their own skin. And I do this by helping them master their thoughts, understand their heart, and optimizing their health. That's the framework that I teach. And I have 5 steps that I help them go through with that.
Well, you
Yeah,
want to share those 5 steps with us?
of course, I'd love to. So those 5 steps are: number one, realize; number two, identify; number three, optimize; number four, overcome; number five, momentum. And I created
Momentum.
these, yeah, momentum. I created these because of my past and kind of my personal story with health and confidence. That's where these came from.
Well, you say your story, so tell us real quick what story is that, young lady? Because I mean, what are you, 19 now? You have a
I'm almost 25.
oh, okay.
But I'm flattered. So, kind of my story is I grew up in a really healthy home. My parents, my mom cooked really well. My dad said, "Hey, if you want a new phone, we're going to go on 8 obstacle 5Ks and you'll earn your new phone." And I thought, "Oh, okay." So I
Eight
kind of just,
obstacle 5Ks. Okay.
yeah, running from zombies, jumping through fire, all of the crazy stuff.
Thanks, Dad. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thanks, Dad. And so you can kind of imagine growing up in a home like this where it was just kind of natural. We ate healthy, we moved our bodies, and I never had to think about it. But when I left the house and I got married, I thought, "Oh, I'm going to be my own person. I'm going to do my own thing." And
That's right.
I jumped off the healthy train so fast. So fast.
Oh, so you became American.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I grew up all over the world. And so I just really, being here in America on my own, I was like, let's see how bad I can get. But I didn't realize that this is what was happening.
Oh.
And so when
No,
I
because you
was,
just live a normal, quote unquote, normal life, and doing what
yeah,
other people do. I mean, that's one of the drawbacks is McDonald's got us when we were real young. They got us on their French fries when French fries were a dime a bag, I think 15
oh
cents or
man,
something. And
how can
boy,
you
they were,
resist?
that's right. You didn't, it was like, man, we got to stop for McDonald's. Of course, even in those days when you could get a whole meal for a buck, my mom and dad were like, well, that's an awful lot of money, right? Because back
Yeah,
in those days, they were making a buck and a quarter for an hour's worth of work. So even then, McDonald's wasn't the dirt cheap alternative, but they hooked you, right? They got you. So
yeah.
it was a treat. McDonald's was a treat. And now it's become a staple of American life. But I'll let you go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's great. And it's interesting hearing you say that because it was a treat back then, and so now it's like, oh, I get to treat myself all the time. And so that's something that I that's something
Right.
that I teach a lot with my clients. But kind of going back to my story of jumping off the healthy train, I gained 30 pounds pretty quickly, and I was super low self-confidence. I was tired, I was sluggish. I didn't feel like myself. I'm a generally positive, happy, go get 'em kind of person, but I just came to this point where I was so low and I was stressed out, and things were going on in my relationships that stressed me out. So I just wasn't even thinking about health. And so one day I woke up and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to be healthy. I'm going to try what everyone is saying. And I tried the diets, I tried the workouts, and nothing was working. Nothing worked.
Really?
Yeah, nothing was working. And I thought, I'm doing all the things that everyone is telling me to do. The influencers saying to try keto, the fitness guru.
Join the baby boomer generation. Yeah, nothing works. Yeah.
Right. And so all these
I used
people
to
were
look like Sean Connery, now look at me. Yeah.
And so I was just kind of following what everyone was telling me to do, but nothing was working. And I thought, what is this? And so I hired a life coach. mostly with different areas of my life that I wanted help with, my relationship with myself and my husband. And she started telling me all of these things about mindset and how you think about things. And I thought, okay, like I guess that kind of makes sense, but there's no way that is going to help me with my health stuff. And she's like, Andrea, no, it actually will. And I thought, no, you're crazy. Like, I'm just not here. I told her she was crazy. And so I
But you
tried
didn't
out,
fire her. That's the key. You
right.
didn't fire her. You just told
I
her she
did
was
not
crazy.
fire her. And so I tried her principles in other areas of my life, and things started clicking. Things started working, and I thought, oh, maybe she does know what she's talking about.
Wow,
And then I
somebody that I'm
thought,
paying to help me change my life is actually helping me
I
change my
know,
life.
no kidding.
Well, but I'll interrupt again because there are lots of times, I teach people how to be better speakers, better presenters,
Right.
as well as, life coaching skills, as well as relationship skills, because I've been around the world about 1,400 times,
Yeah.
and it's one of those deals where people will hire me like to be their speaking coach, and then they'll say, well, that's not what I want to do. I go, well, you hired me to be your speaking coach, and that if you want to get paid to speak, you have to start doing this. And they went, I don't want to do that. And you go, well, and
And it's
so,
not going to happen.
that's right. I honestly lose a lot of people, especially people who are authors who want to be speakers, because they have this image of what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And for you to come in and say, well, that's not going to produce the results you're looking for, they're going to fight you tooth and nail for some reason. And so that's where I lose most of the people who quit, because they look at me and they go, well, but you don't know. I go, wait, you hired me because you thought I did
Because I do
know.
know.
So, but yeah, I completely understand that when you rebel, but it's another thing to fire your coach and pay no attention. But I'm glad it worked. So go
Right.
ahead.
Yeah. And so when I started applying her principles to my health, it started working. And what happened was I disconnected the idea that my health and my worth was tied to my weight, because gaining that 30
Oh,
pounds, that's a big deal for anyone, let alone
well,
women. And we compare ourselves all the time.
and I don't know how tall you are, but from right where I look at you now, you're kind of a little bitty thing. So if you were 105 pounds and you gained 30 pounds, that's 30% body weight. Well, when I'm 240 pounds, if I gained 30% of my body weight, that's 60 pounds. I mean, if you put it in perspective, your body
Exactly.
changed dramatically while you were going
Hmm.
through this.
And it's kind of interesting, actually, because I am 6 feet tall. So I'm actually quite tall. And so no one noticed that I had gained this weight. It was a huge problem in my head. And it's kind of like
Funny.
working with your clients. They think they know what's right. I thought I knew what was right. Would I be fine at that weight? Yes. Did I feel good? No. And that's what I was trying to change. And so when I started applying her principles, and I thought, okay, you know what? My weight does not define me. And I had reached that point. But the story doesn't end, because I kept trying to do these things and I started seeing little bits of progress. But then I thought, you know what? At work, I work in IT. At work, I work with a bunch of old dudes. And every January,
Hey, you looking
they.
at me when you say that? Oh no, I'm a really old dude. There's a difference, right? Okay, I got you.
There we go. There we go. And so I thought, you know what? Every January, these amazing men, this group, they do a low carb contest, and they invited me to join. And I thought, you know what? That might be fun. I'm good with where I'm at. If I lose weight, great. But that sounds like something fun and challenging, so I'll try. And this challenge was eating 30 grams of carbs a day. Now, if you don't know what that is literally like a slice of bread. It's
Yeah.
nothing. 30 grams of carbs is nothing. So I do this for 2 weeks, and I'm noticing I'm dropping weight. And I thought, oh, well, maybe this is it. Maybe this is what everyone's
Maybe this
talking
actually
about.
works, huh?
Right. And then the kind of epiphany moment happened that changed the trajectory of my entire life. And what I do now happened on a Sunday morning. I woke up and I was a monster. Like, I was an actual monster. I was hangry. I felt weak. I was
Oh,
snappy, and I'm not like that, like at all. And so I woke up, and my amazing husband, he said, Andrea, are you okay? You don't seem okay. And I
put
was
the
like,
knife down, Andrea. Put the knife
right.
down.
And I was like, I'm fine. And he's like, no, you're not. Like, let's be real. And I said, Yeah, you're right. Something's wrong, but I don't know what it is. And he tells me and he says, "Well, how's your health competition going? Maybe that has something to do with it." And I said, "Oh, maybe. I mean, I've lost almost 15 pounds in 2 weeks." And he
That's a
goes,
lot.
"Yeah." He goes, "You what?" And I said, "Oh." And that's when it that's when it clicked for
Oh,
me.
oh, you're saying that's a bad thing, honey?
Right. And I realized in that moment that this is not the way to do this, to be healthy. Cutting out my favorite foods of mac and cheese and sourdough bread and pasta. I'm
My
not
kind of
going to cut
woman.
that out. Exactly, right? Everyone loves pasta and carbs. And I thought, you know what? There's got to be a different way. So I deep dived into huge research, tested things out, and then that's how I came up with my 5 step framework that I put my clients through, and it literally changes their lives, like it did with
Wow.
mine.
That's really cool. The journey is always something that, and a lot of times the journey takes so long. Yours seemed like it took like 3, 4 months.
Yeah, it was
Um,
actually quite fast.
yeah, and for most of us, it's 5 or 10 years. And that's
Yeah.
that's one of the challenges we face because, and let's be honest, because most of us never hire a coach, right?
Yeah, we just don't think to. We want to do it ourselves. We don't want to pay the money. But
This is life. I know how to do this. Don't tell me how to do stuff. This is life. This is what happens to and you know what? It's like
Mhm.
speaking. I tell people all the time, you want a speaking career, then you hire a coach. And people go, I don't know if I can. I had one guy the other day tell me, after we talked on the phone for a little while, he said, you know what? You've given me enough information. I think I'm going to wait to hire you until I put these things in place. And I
Oh,
went, no, I'm the guy who can help you put them in place and then start your career. And he was like, I'll wait, but thanks. And that's what we do so often, isn't it? We
yeah.
think we have enough information. We think we know enough. And in truth, I mean, let's look. Michael Jordan had 20 coaches or something.
Mhm.
Tiger Woods had 5 golf coaches at the same time. These guys are at the same time. Michael Jordan had a dribbling coach and an exercise coach and a free throw coach and a
Yeah.
long shot coach. And when you start to learn how many coaches that, you think, well, he just had Phil, whatever the guy's name was, who was in charge of the Bulls that taught him. No, that coach talked about plays. The ones that
Right.
help them get better are the people who help them individually. So if you need to be a better speaker, you hire a speaking coach. You want to change your life, you
Exactly.
hire a life coach like Andrea. Oh my gosh, hers happened fast. She's only 25, right? Do
Yeah.
not let age determine value.
Exactly. And what's crazy is as coaches, we collapse time. That's pretty much what you pay us to do is we collapse time because we have figured things out that people aren't telling you and we have the secrets to give. And if you implement them, you will get your results so much faster. Yes, you could probably figure this out on your own in 20 years, but
Yeah,
we
that's
but we have the frameworks to have you do it right now.
well. You mentioned something. You said, how old were you got married? 20, something like that. 20.
I think 21. Yeah, 21.
21. I got married at right at 20, and
Mhm.
that was a disaster move on my part. But that's a whole different story. But yeah, when we talk about what it takes, a lot of times when we say, "Hey, I'm going to start this, I'm going to do this," and without the help, you struggle. You go through all these ifs and ands, and you butt your head against that wall. And like with relationship, when you said you were married and your husband said, "Whoa, what happened?" Um,
Mhm.
when I wrote a book 10 years ago on relationships called the 20 things you need to learn in order to find the love of your life.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and it was all about because I had finished up my second marriage and both of them were disasters. And so I had to figure out why, right? Why
Mm.
did my picker was broken? Why did I keep picking the wrong people? What happened here? And all I found when I started really, and I interviewed more than 2,400 people to put this little 100-page book together. People
Wow.
say, how many people? I go, 2,400. I asked everybody and their brother, what's good for your relationship? What's working? What isn't working? Why isn't it working? What do you attribute this? All that good stuff. And what I came up with was that little book that can change relationships. And when I talk to people, they go, love should be natural, Steve. You shouldn't have to try and learn about it. I don't want to take a course on how to be and fall in love. You can't determine love. I'll let God find love for me. I go, you guys aren't getting it. Love is just like everything else. It's a learned experience.
Mhm.
When I do a big workshop, Andrea, I have this handout and it's like 50 things on this sheet. And I put down how many of these are intrinsic, how many are they part of you when you're born, and how many do you learn, which are skills.
Mm.
And of these 50 things, most people put down about 25, 20 of them are learned, right? So
Mhm.
they're all skills that they learned. I said, what's interesting is all of them are skills that you've learned.
Interesting.
Yeah, because even like you say, love, right?
Mhm.
Compassion. Well, you and I know that if you've grown up in a family that doesn't know how to show love, you won't know how to show love.
Exactly.
If they grew up without compassion or without all this other stuff, you won't know this stuff. So people don't understand that all of this hugging is a skill. It's learned.
It
And people go,
is.
"What? No, I was born a hugger." No, you weren't.
Nope.
And so I do that because I want people to understand exactly what you're talking about here, which is some things we're born with, some, about two of them. The
Right.
rest we learn. And if you don't tie into someone like Andrea, by the way, do you have a website, Andrea?
I do. Yeah. The best
Want to
way
tell
to
us what that is? Yep.
contact me would be livinghealthywithandrea.com/ebook. If you download,
Holy cow. Living health. That's a long thing for me to write down here.
it
Living
is.
healthy with Andrea. Is that a WITH? Living healthy with,
Yes.
not a
Yes.
W slash. Living
Nope.
healthy with Andrea. Okay, what's the rest?
.com slash
.com
ebook.
forward
EBOOK.
slash ebook. Because she's offering, just in case you guys didn't catch this yet, tell us about that ebook.
Yeah, the ebook is a breakdown of my 5 steps that we deep dive into each one, how I learned that this is an essential principle to having unwavering confidence in yourself and in your health, and the tactical steps you can start right now without, you don't even need my help. You just read the book and start, and you think, holy cow, she knows what she's
You
talking about.
you mean the book's free?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it's free. What? Well, you guys don't leave the podcast. We'll put a link in somewhere and get it to you. Don't leave the podcast, right? But we'll make sure you have all of this when you leave because she's offering you a free ebook that will absolutely change your life if you start with it now. And it's livinghealthywithandrea.com / ebook. But and if they wanted to write to you, do you have an email? Is that Andrea at?
It would be contact@livinghealthywithandrea.com.
Contact, like, you contact. Here we go. We're taking
Yep.
off now. But yeah, so it's important to understand that what we started with this is she lost weight, but losing the weight wasn't the only thing that changed in your life, was it?
No, that was almost the smallest part of it, actually. When I realized this framework, and I thought, actually, people are focusing so much on losing the weight, but that's the least of what we need to work on. And by working on the other things, the weight will come off so fast and it's not stressful.
Yeah, easy for you to say. I've been this weight for about 7 years, and I stopped eating for 3 days and gained a pound. Seriously, stopped eating for 3 days, went on a water diet, gained a pound. I was like,
That's
that
crazy.
that can't happen. That shouldn't happen. And so, yeah, I mean, I shouldn't say, and I'm not dedicated to something. So that was a 3 days of hell for me. But normally I say, hey, I'm going on a diet, and I teach the principles, which is your brain doesn't understand no or don't, can't or
Hmm.
won't. So if I say, Steve, you can't have apple pie, right? What do I crave? Apple pie, because I keep
Yeah,
saying you can't have apple pie. You can't, and all my brain hears is apple pie, apple pie. So that's true of
exactly.
almost everything we do. And it's important that you understand when I put myself on these diets, I go, I can't have that. And then that's all you want. Whereas if I turn
Hmm.
around and said, you can have all the potatoes you want, Steve, if you like being fat, right? I can have all the potatoes I want. Hey, cool. That'll be great. I can have all the fried foods. Eat Kentucky Fried Chicken every day of the week if you want, if you like staying fat, right? And that's the important part of what we do is we
Hmm.
have to learn the things that will help us change. And Andrea can help you start on that. So let's start with living healthy with Andrea.com / ebook. So tell us the rest of your journey, would you?
Yeah. So after I lost this weight, and it's funny, my scale started gathering dust in the bathroom, and I never
Mine,
looked at
mine does too. Yeah.
it. And so I realized that I became a new person, not because I lost weight, but because I knew who I was to my core, and that I was confident in my value and my worth, and it had nothing to do with my appearance. And it's interesting when you make that shift of not caring about how you look and not caring about what others think of you, people become drawn to you. They want to be around you because of your confidence, and they're drawn to who you are as a person. It's an
Oh,
amazing
I,
shift.
I know I don't want to read your ebook then. I don't want people around me. Yeah. I'm one of those
Well,
guys like, please, before the COVID ever hit, I was like, nope, go over there. You guys stand
exactly.
over there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing because of the amount of strengthened relationships you can have with your spouse, your family, your coworkers, your neighbors. When you know who you are and when you're confident in that person, it doesn't matter what you look like.
Here's what I'll say though, too. A lot of people watching are going to say, oh, yeah, but she's 25. She hasn't lived through this stuff yet. She hasn't experienced this yet. Wait until life catches up to her. And the important thing to understand is there's a whole lot of people out in the world who never had life catch up to them, so to speak, where the world closes in and beats them up. Why is that? Because they have the right, I'll say the right definition of themselves, and they keep themselves in a place that doesn't
Mm,
allow them to get put into that place. When we talk about things that happen to us over our life, now I always tell people the bad things that happen to you make great stories as a speaker.
yeah.
But in truth, if you could have done without any of them and ended up wealthy, a 10 or 20 million dollar person by the time you're 45 or 50, boy, that'd be a life. I'll take that life. But what happened? Well, I made bad decisions along the way. Some of the bad decisions are eating McDonald's, right? Taking it as a treat to go to McDonald's and eat French fries and $1,000 quarter, 1,000 calorie quarter pounders. So
Hmm.
I eat a small breakfast, I eat a decent sized lunch, and then I go and eat 1,500 calories, which is your whole day's worth of calories, in one burger and fries at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And you go, isn't that crazy? Well, yeah, why do you do that? And the answer is that's just, we always say, that's who I am. That's what I like. But that's when you stay stuck where you are. If you're unhappy with where you are, or just you say, I'm just not unhappy, but I would like to have more, then I would suggest that you connect with Andrea. So it's contact at livinghealthwithandrea.com, or start with the ebook, read the ebook, and then reach out to Andrea. And maybe she'll even send you an email to invite
Yes, of course. And there's always my Instagram. I respond the quickest on Instagram.
you. Instagram. I have an Instagram account.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. I'm not sure I understand what it does. That's my problem. It's like, well, just like right now, right? Right now, see this QR code?
Hmm.
That just joined me in my virtual background, which I only started last week. So I finally broke down, bought a virtual background thing rather than trying to put something up. And I get this little QR code. And the QR code, if you guys were to scan it with your phone, right, simply takes you to a course that I offer, right? It takes you someplace. So if Andrea wanted people to go to her ebook, she would make a QR code and put it in her background so that she would say, hey, you don't have to type in livinghealthywithandrea.com/ebook. You would simply scan in your phone my QR code and it'll take you right to that ebook.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, it is cool. I just figured that out about a month ago. That's why I got the background, because I went, what do you got there? Somebody else had it. I went, what do you got there? And they went, QR code. I went, aren't those like old fashioned, old hat, not used anymore? And they went, that's what people think, but they're a real great shortcut.
Hmm.
So I pass that on to Andrea so that she can add that to her stuff. Maybe she'll want to, maybe she won't. Maybe somebody listening will want to do that. But it's important to understand that when you're talking about your success, your growth, your future, that we understand we absolutely can't do it alone. You
Hmm.
can't become a great speaker alone, right? It's who you know. We all know that. You can't lose weight, and I shouldn't say you can't. Most of us can't lose weight alone. We have to have some methodology to it. And then with your other growth, so tell us about the rest of your growth. I keep interrupting you, so go ahead.
No, this is great. So, what happened afterwards is I realized I had this framework, and it's interesting. I felt like I had a calling, like kind of a divine intervention of Andrew, whether you believe in God or universe or source, whatever that energy was, I felt like, Andrea, this is your calling to do this.
That was just me going, Andrea,
Yep, it was
Andrea.
Steve. And it's so interesting because I did not feel qualified. I work in
Oh,
IT. I do mapping and data analysis. I'm 24. Who am I to tell people what to do? And it was really interesting because I resisted it for a long time. but I just kept getting that nudge of, no, you need to do this. And so I thought, okay, COVID hit, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And so I started, and it has taken off like crazy. And it's interesting because I know I'm young, but there are a lot of experiences in my past that I don't even share with my immediate family, of some dark places and
Tell
rough
us one.
things.
Tell us one.
I'm not going to go there because, like, it's pretty rough, but it was one of those times where you feel so alone, and you
Oh yeah,
feel that you're
that
not
that
capable of,
emptiness.
yeah, you feel empty and you don't know where to go, and it's heavy stuff where you think, I literally don't know if I'm going to make it through this because of things going on with your family and within yourself. It's funny, I never talk about it, and maybe I should, because people can relate to that. And it's so interesting. And it's not my story to tell of what happened, but it's one of those things where, yes, I'm young, but man, I've been through hell and back. That's for sure.
And that's just it. If you share some of the story, you don't have to tell all the details or some of the stuff you don't want to share. But sometimes when you share those kind of stories, we relate to you more because we go, she's only 25. How can she know how I'm feeling at 55, how I'm feeling at 70, how I'm feeling, right? And that's really important. And I know you gear your stuff towards women. I
Hmm.
think that's what you do. But then don't be afraid that men are going to be drawn to this also.
Of course.
That yeah. So when we get there, it's like, okay, well, be real honest. Sometimes we get certain people in our lives who we can't help. I mean,
Right.
I've had people who contact me and said, I want to do this. And then I talked to them for like 3 or 4 hours, like they've already basically hired me. We've got the money in the bin. And then after about the fourth time talking to them, I got to give them their money back because it's like, I don't think I'm qualified to help on the depth of the problems you're experiencing.
Interesting.
Some of them are so far gone, so lost. And of course, when they're that lost, they don't always want to hear you either. So a lot of times they
Right.
just want to keep dumping, dumping, and dumping. And I don't get paid for you to dump goo on me because I'm a positive person. We want to live a happier,
Yeah.
healthier life. But yeah, so that's what you teach people, how to have health and confidence. That's so important, especially in today's COVID world, where so many people
Yeah.
are trapped in their houses. So many people feel depressed and trapped. So many people have lost their jobs, right? And so even if they are still able to make it a living, it's tough. It's pressing on them because they're like, I mean, I've got 3 friends now who say, I got a whole bunch of friends who are making a lot more money because of the COVID, but I got 3 friends who are terrified that their business is not their business, their company
Right.
that they work for is going to dump them off, going to fire
Mm.
them or let them go, lay them off. And so they hear all the rumors, and so they're just like, oh,
Yeah. You can just feel it in your body, like, oh, yeah.
yep. And so you can help them with that.
Yeah. I've seen, if you feel healthy and you feel confident, every aspect of your life is going to improve. Guaranteed.
Cool. And so actually, we're into 28 minutes. I told you I'd only let you be on 35 at the most. So we have got touched on the ebook type thing. Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
I do have a free 5-day workshop coming up, and it's going to be completely epic. I've been prepping for it for almost 3 months now, and it's a huge deep dive into my principles. And if you want to make big change in 5 days for free, this is what you want to do and what you want to
Well,
join.
I want to do that. How do I get on it?
Yeah, so I think the URL is ready. After this, I will hop on and make sure. But it's going to be livinghealthywithandrea.com/workshop.
No, real easy.
Oh, yeah.
So even if like we won't put this out, I'm trying to think when the next one's available. Not till like October. So we're a month away from this being live. So the livinghealthywithandrea.com/workshop will be active then. When do you do the workshop? When will you be doing it?
The workshop is in 2 or 3 weeks, but the trainings are going to be, there will be replays. So you can go to that URL and sign up and join my Facebook group, and you'll still have all the trainings.
See, how cool is that? I mean, that's phenomenal offers. An ebook that will help you change your life, a free 5-day course that will help you change your life. And not only that, but it's you said it's what do they call those things? Evergreen. So somebody can
Yeah.
check, pump into them later and still gain knowledge out of it. So, oh my gosh. And then after that, you'll have to hire her just because you're going to be going, oh my God, I've learned so much. Right?
And I'd love to work with anyone. I won't turn anyone away just if you're a guy. Don't worry.
I'll turn you away. Call me. I'll just say, get away. Okay. So, we've done a lot here in 30 minutes. I'm really amazed how much we've covered in 30 minutes and how exciting it really is that the offers that you've made and what we're going to be doing. So I will encourage everybody who hears this to reach out, touch base with Andrea, get the ebook, touch base for the workshop, and then talk to her. Pick up the, email her. She will probably send you out a link to how to contact her directly, how to make that personal connection so that you can talk to her, get to know her, and make sure that you guys are a connection. Because there's lots of times when we think we can work with somebody, and after we talk to them for about 45 minutes, we go, yeah, our personalities aren't such that they're going to blend. And so you pass them off to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of times I have people who want to do a relationship workshop, and I just, after talking to them for basically an hour, I go, I appreciate what you need to do, and I think, I might possibly help you, but I just don't think we're a match. And then I give them 2 other people to contact, reach out and talk to this person, reach out and talk to that person, because I want them to still succeed in their endeavor, but I don't think I'm the person to make that happen. So again, you can reach out to Andrea at livinghealthwithandrea.com. That's her website. Then you can go /ebook to get the ebook, and you can go /workshop in order to get a replay of the workshop and absolutely grow yourself to become the person you want to be. And this is going to be a phenomenal opportunity for you. And I really hope you take advantage of it. Andrea, any last questions before we sign off?
No, we've had a fantastic time. I've loved this.
Cool. That's great. That's one thing I like to talk about is on Speaker Talks, we have a conversation that we hope will help all of the listeners. And that's what it's really all about. And so, Andrea, it was a pleasure speaking with you today, and I will definitely be plugging into your workshop and getting your ebook, because that's what I need. I need growth. I know I'm old, but I still want to be better. Right? How about you folks? You're going to be better? Yeah, that's good. All right. This is Steve Sapato. You've been listening to Speaker Talks podcast for speakers, authors, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to change their lives and their business. And I hope to hear from you again soon. If you need to drop me a note, it's steve@stevesapato.com. You can certainly go to my website at stevesapatoseminars.com. And if you're looking to become a certified professional speaker or a certified virtual speaker, connect with me and I'll teach you how to do both of those. I hope you're having a blessed day, and I will talk to you on the other side.